Hey, it's Sabine again. I am wanting to do a video kind of around the same spectrum as mental health. Sorry, you're gonna hear my crying cat right now. Hey, Laura. She's an attention whore. She's the biggest attention seeker I've ever met. Don't think I neglect my cat. I give her attention all the time, except times such as now. But she meows either way, like at any point in the day. So with that being said, I really want to do a video on lots of different aspects of mental health. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. Number one, I am not a doctor. Number two, I am no form of a psychiatrist or psychologist or a therapist even. I'm not a social worker. I went to school for architectural technology, okay? I deal with buildings and building permits, and this is not my forte. I do not have a degree in anything to do with the brain. But I have a brain and you have a brain, and I like talking about the brain and what I think about it. I would never diagnose anyone or say, if you have this sort of symptom, you might have this. No, I'm talking about like day-to-day mental health, everyday self-care to cater to your mental health, not specific mental illnesses. Yeah, no. So today I want to talk about cognitive disruptions, and we'll jump into that right now. I'm sorry, I meant cognitive distortions. Okay. So now that we've got that cleared, I kind of want to tackle this almost like a quiz. So I had found on Pinterest the other day, and you can find a lot of great things on Pinterest. I feel like Pinterest is such a bad rep. Ugh, now I'm gonna be out here trying to defend Pinterest. I don't care. I could have found this anywhere. I could have just looked this up on Google and found this, but no. It came to me because the universe was throwing it my way. So what I mean by a quiz is I found this picture. I'll insert it here. And it's a 1 to 13 list of different types of cognitive distortions. Now, what does cognitive mean? The first time I heard the word cognitive, it was actually when I started my current job. And my review on my performance, my supervisor, didn't have a lot to say. No, but like going forward always, he just wanted me to always improve my cognitive awareness. So the first time he told me that, I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what that means. So we're gonna look up the definition of cognitive together with Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Cognitive, adjective, of or relating to, being or involving conscious intellectual activity, such as thinking, reasoning, or remembering. Number two, based on or being capable of being reduced to empirical factual knowledge. To put it simply, being cognitive is more or less just like being aware of yourself, of your surroundings, of the person you're dealing with. In regards to my job, it's customer service, so he wanted me to be, he wanted me to be on the ball, basically. He wanted me to always make sure I'm fully aware of what my customer is looking for. I'm digging for questions, or through questions that I should know to ask to determine, okay, what is this person here for and how do I help them, or who do I have to guide them to, etc. So when it comes to self-awareness, it just assists with your, like I said, your everyday mental health norm. There is no norm, but it helps to be aware of why you feel the way you do. That's everything. The question of why. Why do you feel this way? How did you get there? So I'm gonna go through all of these 1 to 13 and kind of go through them in regards to what I think about myself and try and answer as honestly as I can. Okay, so number one, overgeneralizing. So it says you see a constant negative pattern based on one event. Okay, so I'm definitely guilty of this. I've definitely done that in the past. Now, what event? That's the thing I'm trying to pinpoint. I guess an example I could think of on the spot would be if a love interest did you wrong, or they weren't interested back, and you took that to every further potential relationship you could build because of a fear of abandonment. That's an example for sure. I always try and go into things with a more positive, open mind, no matter if it was a similar situation to one past. Moving on. Number 2. I'm gonna try not to yell. Sorry, that was a yell. Blaming/denying. You blame others for your problems or mistakes, or you blame yourself when it wasn't entirely your fault. Oh, do I ever blame myself? Yeah, no, I'm definitely way too hard on myself for everything, and I always apologize for everything. I'm sure so many of us can relate to that. I wouldn't say I'm the type of person to blame anyone for anything else ever, you know, unless it's Anthony, you know. He should have done the dishes. You know what I'm saying? Number 3, shoulds. AKA, you have a rigid code of conduct dictating how you and others should behave. You criticize yourself harshly when you fail to follow these rules. I don't think I have a rigid code of conduct, to be honest. To me, to each their own. Like, I could care less whether I choose to associate myself with you if you do or you behave a certain way that I don't align with. That's up to me. The corporate world definitely does. So that's something that I have to deal with, but it's not something that I dictate. Number 4. I yelled again. Number 4. All or nothing thinking. Ooh, so you see things as absolutes, no gray areas. No, for me, everything is just gray. Everything is pretty well just gray. It's rare where I'm like, no, there needs to be a defined yes or no answer to this, and there should be. It's rare that I think something's truly need a defined answer, yes or no, though. Lots of things are gray area to me. Number 5, negativity bias. You notice all of the negatives, but fail to notice the positives. Yeah, so this has been me the past year, but as stated in my last video, this is changing. I am working on it. I feel a lot better already after making that last video. I know there was definitely some confusion as to that last video, but there's some things I can't and won't say on video yet. Anyway, number 6, catastrophizing. 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 I'm gonna say it's catastrophizing. Sounds most correct, like catastrophe. Okay, what it says is you expect the worst. Blowing things out of proportion. You don't even know what's gonna happen yet. You're worried about a situation that literally doesn't exist. You've made it up in your head, a future situation, and you're already stressing about what could happen when it literally doesn't exist because it didn't happen, but you're stressed about it. You know what I'm saying? So, number 6, for me, yeah, I definitely have. I've done that so many times. I still do that, and I need to be reminded on occasion to not do that. But we're working on it, right, sister? Number 7, labeling. Oh, God, I hate labels. You label yourself negatively. I literally wrote down for my answers for number 7, oh, definitely, in quotes. I've really just been trying to work on this with positive self-talk, as the kids say these days. Genuinely, this was an actual event. So last week, I looked in the mirror, I thought to myself, I just really don't like what's going on with me today. And that actually just changes on the daily. Like today, I felt pretty good. Yesterday I felt pretty good too. But this still changes all the time. And when I thought that last week in the mirror, it was right after I had seen a video about mantras and positive self-talk. And I immediately thought to myself, because of that, and said out loud, positive self-talk, positive self-talk, positive self-talk, while I stared myself down in the mirror, I started chanting that, if you will. And it, honestly, I schnitz you not, did a 180 flip in my attitude towards myself the rest of the day. Even if I don't say, oh, I love myself, oh, I love you, Sabine, like, I'm just gonna say positive self-talk. Like, just saying those 3 words, I don't necessarily have to describe myself in any way, like, no, you're beautiful, like trying to convince myself, just positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. Honestly, try it. Like, just chanting it a little bit makes you all tingly and happy inside. I swear. I don't know. Am I crazy? Well, we'll just leave that as a rhetorical question. No comments down below. Number 8, magical thinking. This says, you think everything will be better when blank, aka, or for example, you're thinner, smarter, richer, get a new job, etc. Oh man, this is a thought for me that it flashes in my mind sometimes, but I seem to talk myself out of it pretty quickly. I've always known, like, that's not the case. Like, I think that's something I was brought up with, maybe, that kind of resonated with me. Maybe I got it from my parents, like, and my sister. My family has a pretty good work ethic. Like, you work for what you're gonna get. And I guess growing up, maybe I took that as, yeah, I gotta appreciate what I have in the moment while I'm working towards what I want. It's a negative thought where it's, you have that flash where it's like, oh, it's so unfair that I'm not like as thin as that girl. Like, it's almost like jealousy. And social media is very toxic for this. If you see someone doing something, or they are something that you want to do or be or whatever it is, or they have something, well, material items too, you have to talk yourself out of it. You have to just think, I'll get there. I'll get there if I want to get there. And the only way to get there, and the only way they got there, is by working for it. Unless you got a rich daddy. I mean, should I keep that in? I don't know. We'll see. That was like a half joke. Okay, 9. Over-personalizing. Ooh. I don't know why I get excited. Oh, these are such good topics. Okay, so this one says, you make things personal when they aren't. You believe other people's opinions are facts. You think what other people do and say is in reaction to you. Ooh, do you feel that way, you guys? Tell me everything, because I still work on this every day. I wouldn't say that I know that, or I think that other people's opinions are facts about me, but it's hard to shake it. My thing is, yeah, it's hard to shake knowing that that person may feel a certain way about me, about a certain aspect of me, and that's what I have to work on. It's like, it's hard not to care what people think. It's the hardest thing in the world for someone like me and everyone. Some people genuinely don't give a shit, like, and that's amazing. I can't wait to get there one day. I am working on it every day, but I'm such a people pleaser. I am such a people pleaser, so it's like all I've ever thought about. It depends on the person too, though. Like, if you've wronged me, I couldn't care less what you think about me. Like, I do not care at all. But if you're someone I love and care about, or even like someone I work with or a customer, I am almost always like, what are they thinking? And it might not be all the time, but just specific moments. For strangers in a public place too, but not all the time. I would say that's also rarely and situational. For example though, like Anthony and I went for a walk last weekend and I wore shorts. I've always felt uncomfortable in shorts, as a lot of women do. Very self-conscious of my legs, and it was so hot out. Obviously I've been wearing shorts all the time. Like, I care some days and some days I don't, but this was like the first time I went for a walk in shorts in the summer this year, and this was what was on my mind. We were walking by the lake and there's tons of people everywhere. We didn't go 5 steps without passing another person, and the whole time I'm thinking, like, what are they thinking of my legs in these shorts right now? Like, I would have that thought in the back of my mind almost constantly that whole time. But then, like, on the surface level, I'd be like, Sabine, just own it. Like, you're owning it. You are comfy, you are confident, and you are beautiful. All is good. But, like, it just goes in circles in my brain. Like, that will last for 2 seconds or longer or whatever. And then, like I said, it's always in the back of my head, like, my legs are exposed. Like as if it's some like big thing. I just working on it. Just working on it, you know what I mean? Number 10, mind reading. You make assumptions about what others are thinking. That's not me. That's not me. Yeah, no, I do and I don't. I don't know. This one could be a very long-winded answer. I don't even kind of want to talk about this. I'm always just like, I'm such a curious soul. Like I have a very curious personality. I will ask you questions endlessly until I am like satisfied, and I don't think you could have possibly have any more thoughts or opinions on it. Like I love hearing what other people have to say about things. But do I assume it? Yeah. If you ask Anthony, yeah. Not all the time though, and I'm working on it. But that's why if you ask my boyfriend, he'll be like, Sabine, why are you asking me what I think or what I'm thinking? This happened a lot more. Now I'm getting better. Since we've been living together, I understand there's just like, sometimes he's genuinely not thinking about anything. But I'll ask him, you know, in the car, like, what are you thinking about right now? And he'll be like, nothing. And I'm like, impossible. But that's also because I feel like most of the time I'm aware of like a conscious thought on my mind. For now, you get what I'm saying. Let's continue. Number 11, double standard. You hold yourself to a higher standard than everyone else. And I put all in caps, yes. Yes, I do. And then I said, do I? I don't think so. I'm questioning it. It's kind of hard to like pinpoint it because I wouldn't say, I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I don't really have that egotistical attitude at all. I wish I was more egotistical so I could like prove myself in job interviews and whatnot. But I also feel like I'm really hard on myself to a point where like I could do better than the average person would do on a test or something, and I'll still be like, I should have done better. You know how there were always those kids in school who got like 96 and you were like, I got 76 and thank God I passed. And they're like, I should have got 98. They hold themselves to a higher standard, and that may or may not be a good thing. So with me, I'm just gonna leave it as I'm on the fence. Number 12, fallacy of fairness. You think things should work out according to what you think is fair. And I said, no, not always. Like life is life. You know what I mean? Like sometimes things are just out of your control. Sometimes they are just out of your control. But again, it's up to you to be aware of what is and what isn't. I believe justice should be served, but fair and justice are two different things. Actually, I wanted to look up the definitions of both of those. So let's do that right now. Fair. Yeah, basically, see, okay. Fair says free from bias, dishonesty, or injustice. Now let's look up what justice means, like on its own. The quality of being just, righteousness, equitable, or moral rightness, rightfulness or lawfulness as a claim or title. Man, yeah, when it comes to justice, it's tough because justice and fairness as a whole, it really comes down to personal opinion and perspective. I would say mostly perspective, because if you're in a court of law and you're trying to defend a criminal who did not do the crime he was accused of, only everyone can stand there and tell their side of the story. And so the end conclusion, whether or not everyone in that room thinks it's fair or not, it just depends on their perspective. And that's because you have to try and prove what truly happened. So unless there's proof or whatever, like, it's a really hard question to answer. As far as doing this little Pinterest quiz, which is not a quiz, by the way. This is literally just statements that you should be aware of. I don't think I think that way. Number 13. Oh God, no, hold on for number 13. Not that I don't think that things should work out according to what I think is fair. Of course I do, but not everything. I guess, like I said before, some things are not in your control. And even though you think that, like, I won't hold it. I don't know how to explain this. I'm just gonna leave it at, I think justice should be served. That's it. Everyone's life is different. Number 13, emotional reasoning. You think your feelings are reality. No, I don't think that at all anymore, I would say. This one has like really changed me. I am such an emotional person. I feel very deeply. I'm one of those. And after the last few years of being informed and reading up on mental health and getting opinions from other people, or advice, I guess I should say, from people that know me or people that don't, the best piece of advice, and you've probably heard this one, is that I know my feelings are valid, but they may not be true to the situation at hand. So then you have to ask yourself, how do I get past that? If it's a bad feeling in the moment, like, how do I fix that? Yeah, you have to be self-aware of all these things as best you can. I think overall I am pretty darn self-aware, I would say, not to toot my own horn or anything. Maybe go through these cognitive distortion questions on Pinterest as well, see what you think, and hopefully you can self-reflect and figure your schnitz out. No, but truly, I hope that helps you kind of maybe determine something that you were struggling with at this current point in life. I want to also give a little quick shout out to my cousin, Caitlin Sonke. I'll tag her Instagram in the description, but she's doing so much good work to bring awareness to mental health. She is a survivor. She's also representing a company called jack.org. Their website is literally jack.org, JACK.org. And what they do is basically it is a bunch of mental health advocates like Caitlin, and they are the only charity training and empowering young leaders to revolutionize mental health in every province and territory. So they do talks, summits, and they basically travel to bring awareness to what mental health really means and how you can help yourself and others to feel good about your mental health and theirs. I'd be freaking sick to sit down and make a video with you, Kate. By the way, I don't know if you've been watching my videos. Gonna message you after this probably, but that would be a great thing. Yeah, guys, go to jack.org. You can donate if you want to. There's a bunch of resources on here. There's contact information as well if you want to get in touch with them. Follow their Instagram. Their Instagram is @jack.org as well. Hopefully that's something you're interested in. I'm just filming the end of my video right now, so can you just stay put for 2 seconds? Just say it? Okay, I'm just gonna say, okay. So until next time, and if you have any other ideas of what you want me to talk about for mental health awareness, give me a ring.